70-39. Mitchell crosses. Big finish. The crank for Mitchell.
I'm sorry, I've read the comments in the past. I know some salty haters get mad when I make this take, but the NBA hates what the Cavs are doing. They just absolutely dominated the Nets by 30 and continue to win. They didn't want to see this happen. I know the power rankings don't matter in the grand scheme of things, especially this early in the season, but how on earth is there any world where you don't put the Cavs number 1? The media refuses to cover this team like many of the others. There has been some talk, I mean, there had to have been for the record this team has been putting up, but they still get covered and talked about as little as possible. And when they do, most of the time the convos revolve around why this team can't win a championship. I just don't get it. I don't get the unnecessary hate. You can complain in the comments, I don't really care. I know I'm a Cavs fan and I'm biased, but the more this team wins, the more people are gonna find ways to take away the credit of what they've done. It's not like they are just squeezing out W's and farming wins against bad teams. They are playing dominant basketball, and that is without Max Strus for the entire season so far. When they finally do get him back, which seems like never, it'll add a whole nother layer of depth to the bench. Levert is playing like the 6th man of the year. All of the core 4 have been great, and they've worked together to produce. They have completely stopped caring about individual numbers, which has led to better team stats and less minutes on the court, which has kept them for the most part rested up and healthy. Kenny Atkinson really has created an almost perfect winning formula for this team through the first third of the season, and they are showing no signs of slowing down, and I want to talk all about it, and I want to recap the recent win over the Nets. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 40,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so the Cavs beat the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn 130-101. This was a game that was pretty much over after the first quarter. The Cavs had a couple of Cavaliers, Levert went crazy off the bench, Donovan Mitchell had an explosive yam, Garland was a playmaker and hit a few deep shots. It was a total team win all the way around, and the Nets just mentally looked defeated. Going back to Brooklyn with this current Cavs team is always homecoming vibes. Jarrett Allen and Levert, of course, both spent the early years of their NBA careers there. DeMarre Carroll played there, and then Kenny Atkinson, of course, had his first coaching stint there where he established himself in this league. So there was a different type of energy to this game, and you could see it from the opening tip-off. I thought Darius Garland was huge in this game for giving the Cavs an early spark because the Nets started off hot from the jump with a score of 7-0. They began to get physical, and I thought just from the first 2 minutes it might be one of those games for the Cavs. But Darius stepped up, he drilled an awkward and one, he hit a few contested step-back threes, and from there, he began to get the bigs involved, and then Donovan Mitchell and Levert were able to get going as the offense began to open up. And defensively, just outstanding. I know sometimes I'm a little harsh on Jarrett Allen, but close to halftime, the Nets only had 29 points. The physical mentality and paint protection was on full display. A lot of that credit, of course, goes to Evan Mobley. We've seen the difference of this team with him on and off the court. But I thought the Cavs' paint protection really flustered the Nets' offense. Ben Simmons stopped driving, as he always does, and the Nets just looked stagnant. I know the Celtics are stacked, especially at the front of their roster. I know the Bucks are starting to heat up, but being 100% real and 100% confident, I think the Cavs are better and have as much of a chance to do damage in the postseason as anyone. Head-to-head, Cavs vs Celtics right now, I think it's a 7-game series. The Cavs really just have so many different units that can continue to throw punches. When Levert is hot, you're not going to beat this team. But even when he struggles every now and then, George Niang will catch fire. Every now and then, Sam Merrill will get going. Usually Ty Jerome will give 10 points off the bench, and we all know who Max Strus is. He can go on 2-minute stretches where he becomes the best shooter in the league. And that's all just the bench. You already know what the starting lineup can provide. When the offense goes stagnant, which has only happened a couple of times so far this season, they have Donovan Mitchell, who can create all the shots for himself to try to keep the ship afloat. But when the ball is moving and guys are hitting their open shots, especially Isaac Okoro, then this team is something to watch. Even Draymond Green a month ago talked about how crazy the ball movement is. He said his head was spinning while trying to defend it. And when you add the fact that 1 through 10 pretty much anyone can go on heaters, even Evan Mobley now, as we saw in Charlotte, it is just a nightmare to defend. So I know for Boston, Tatum, Brown, and probably Porzingis will each get their 20 plus points, but if the Cavs can find a way to contain White and Pritchard, and then off the bench somebody like Levert heats up, I really do think the Cavs have the upper hand. But I am definitely curious to hear what you guys think. And then another thing the Cavs have that is just extremely rare is great chemistry both on and off the court. The vibes are always high, even when the team has a bad game. They're always joking in the locker room, they pick each other up, and they hang out with each other outside of basketball. And that has created this environment where for Kenny Atkinson, it is so easy to coach this group of guys and get them ready for the task at hand. Now, I'm not trying to take away anything from what Atkinson has done. Getting a team to 22-4 in this league is making history. But he definitely came to a team that has been a result of the work Kobe Altman and Bickerstaff put in over the last 3 to 4 years. Obviously, Bickerstaff was not going to get these guys over the hump, but Kenny has just come into Cleveland and has run with what the Cavs had cooking. And he improved the weaknesses, and now they are playing the best basketball I've watched since the LeBron days. And you could argue they are playing even better. The next week or so before Christmas, the Cavs do have their work cut out for them though. This is going to be another one of those tests where if they come out 5-1, they are really going to open up even more eyes. They play the Bucks, who will be coming off their trip to Las Vegas for the NBA Cup. Then they play Philly, who sucks record-wise, but is always a tough team to play. Then they play Utah and go out west to play Denver, Golden State, and the Lakers. If they can come out of that trip winning most, if not all of these games, the league will have to give them their respect. Again, I know it doesn't matter, but the players deserve it. They deserve the clout. They deserve the votes come All-Star game time. I just can't believe the NBA put the Cavs at number 2 in the power rankings. I know the Thunder are a great team with tons of depth, and they are playing well, but didn't they lose Chet Holmgren? I feel like head-to-head Cleveland would be favored, but whatever, I guess it is what it is, and that is why they ultimately go out there and actually play the game. But yeah, the Cavs looked great against the Nets. It was so nice to see them bounce back after a couple of days off and some sloppy basketball for a couple games in a row. Here's what the guys had to say in their post-game interviews following the win.
You know, sometimes with all the three-point shooting in this league, you forget the activity you need to contest. We talked about it a little, but you know, just closing to the body better, closing to shooters better. But I felt like also we got back to turning teams over. You know, so our aggressiveness. I feel like, you know, the league is. You know, it's becoming more physical. You can see it. You can see the trends in the league. So, you know, that was a point of emphasis, getting more physical so we could turn teams over more.
I'm saying, so, you know, I was just so happy to get that opportunity, you know what I mean, and be able to bless my teammates with something that I've been doing my whole career. I was very proud of that moment, not going to lie. I was very happy, very excited. And why not do it at home? You know what I mean, back at the crib. You know what I mean, why not? So, I'm very excited about that. Very, you know, I'm going to probably post it on IG later today, and I'm very happy.
So you're telling me your teammates were actually giving you this crap this year? Okay.
Yeah, they were, especially when I missed the one in Chicago. They were like, yeah, you just don't. But for me, it's just more of a choice. It's like after, you know, it's like, y'all know what I can do. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, why exert that energy if I don't have to? But tonight, it was really a statement. My friends in my group chat, y'all know who y'all are if y'all see this. They were clowning me, talking I only had like 2 or 3 attempts this year. So I figured, you know, why not tonight? You know what I'm saying?
That's really all I got for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you'd like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.